Hello and welcome to today's video. After spending 3 days in busy Madrid, it is finally time to slow things down a bit and head to Granada. To be honest, I don't know much about this city, just that it is home to the famous Alhambra. It's a massive palace and fortress set on a hill and known for its beautifully preserved Moorish architecture. We are going to explore as much of it as we can and see what makes this place so special. Join us on our little adventure in Granada. And if you're interested in visiting any of the places shown, please check the description box for the Google Maps link.
Les anunciaremos la llegada a las estaciones. Seremos contenidos de entretenimiento a través de las pantallas superiores.
The direct train from Madrid to Granada takes around 4 hours, and like most train rides in Europe, looking out the window to marvel at the beautiful scenery is enough to keep you busy until you doze off. But please do not forget to secure all of your belongings. After almost 4 hours on the train, we finally arrived at Granada train station, and there was this very long queue for the taxi, so we ended up getting an Uber. While on the ride to the apartment, we saw a lot of orange trees. This is not a good example, but anyway, I asked the driver if we were allowed to pick them, and he said yes, but he did warn us that the oranges from the trees are very tart and commonly used for baking or making cocktails. This is our apartment for Granada. It has this open area where the kids can play, or you can eat al fresco or smoke if you do smoke, and dry your laundry. And this is the kitchen that's connected to that. And this is one of the bedrooms. And this is one of the 2 bathrooms. Just like our apartments in Madrid, this one was centrally located in Puerta Real. And then this is another bedroom. There are 3 bedrooms in total and 2 bathrooms. One is en suite while the other is common. By the way, the apartment is on the 2nd floor, or floor number 1 in European terms. Since we enjoyed our supermarket runs in Madrid, we went to El Corte Inglés again. But this time, instead of buying ingredients to cook, we picked items from the prepared food section, and we were very satisfied with our choices. I also noticed that prices in Madrid are not the same as in Granada, which is interesting to me. So I took note to buy things depending on whether I think they're priced right, because some items are on sale in one area but not the other. This area is around 200 to 300 meters from the apartment, and we saw a lot of orange trees. Keep watching to find out if we actually end up picking an orange from a tree. The bus stop for the tourist bus isn't very clear, so if you're taking it, please see my Google Maps pin in the description box. We are now on the tour bus that goes around Granada just to enjoy the scenery, and we are not disembarking at any stop. While on the bus, we noticed 2 Spanish flags among the languages on the audio guide, and that made me wonder why. So I looked it up and learned that while Spanish is the official national language of Spain, some parts of Spain speak Catalan, which is not just a dialect but an entirely different language. Catalan is spoken in the northeastern parts of Spain, which include Barcelona, the Valencian community, and the Balearic Islands, including Majorca and Ibiza. It is also spoken in small parts of southern France and even in a town in Italy called Alghero in Sardinia. And it's actually the official language of Andorra. Aside from Spanish and Catalan, about 4% speak Galician, which is similar to Portuguese, and 1% speak Basque. What we're on right now, they call this a train, but it is more like a bus in the sense that it does not run on tracks. One complete trip takes around 90 minutes, and the route is very scenic since Granada has very hilly terrain. So there are parts where, like this, where you can get a nice view from the top. But you do have to sit properly though, because as you saw earlier, it is a bit shaky due to the cobblestone streets and the incline.
Stop number 11, 12.
We stopped at this empanada shop and we tried some just to see how they compare with the empanadas that we have back home. It was similar, although the crust was flakier. We also stopped at this cheesecake shop and I challenged myself by looking up how to order in Spanish, and the shopkeeper actually understood what I said. A few steps from the cheesecake shop, we are back at our apartment. Having an apartment in the center is so convenient because we can take proper rest stops.
Gracias.
As someone who lives in the tropics, I was so amazed to see all these orange trees. This Plaza de Toros is still actively used for bullfights, and it is also used for concerts and other large events. And in case you want to watch a bullfight, they usually take place in late May or early June. Just like at the cheesecake shop, I practiced a short line, "Hecho en España" or "Made in Spain," and the shopkeeper said yes, so I got my first pair of espadrilles. Corral del Carbon is actually the only surviving Moorish merchant inn in Spain. It was built around the time of the Alhambra, and this is where traders would stay, store goods like grain, and keep their animals safe.
Yeah. Didn't notice this until you pointed it out.
Since we already did both tourist bus tours yesterday and we're only visiting one area today, it made more sense and felt more practical to take the regular city bus instead of the tourist train. The regular city bus only cost 1.60 euros, while the tourist bus is around 8 to 12 euros per person. We are now at Puerta de la Justicia, one of the main entrances to the Alhambra, and this part is free to enter. Inside the complex, though, some areas need tickets, and there are three main types. First is the general ticket, which includes everything, including the Nasrid palaces. Second is the Generalife Gardens plus Alcazaba ticket, which does not include the Nasrid palaces, and the night tickets, which are for either the Nasrid palaces or the Generalife Gardens after dark. We actually tried booking the general ticket about a month in advance, but it was already sold out for our available date, so we had to go with the Generalife Gardens plus Alcazaba option. And just a heads up, the Nasrid palaces are the most popular part, so book as early as you can.
Loving yung sakaya ng bus, oh, yung sobrang daming tao.
The view we have right now is that of the Albaythin. It's the old Arab quarter of Granada with narrow winding streets, whitewashed houses, small squares, and viewpoints that they call miradors, with some of the best views of the Alhambra, especially at sunset. It's also worth noting that it is a UNESCO World Heritage Area and it still keeps a lot of its medieval street layout from the Islamic period.
swimming pool. Oh.
On our way back to Puerto Real, we had the option to take a bus, but most were already either full or standing room only, so we decided to walk. It was only about 1.3 kilometers, and it turned out to be a nice way to see more of the area. It wasn't long before we reached Puerta de las Granadas, a gate that marks the entrance to the Alhambra, and just beyond it, there were a few small shops where I found a souvenir, which was a fridge magnet designed to look like a traditional ceramic tile.
There's mice. They are mice.
Swipe your mouth.
Not yet.
While exploring the area of Puerto Real, we stopped at Plaza de la Trinidad to sit and saw a lot of orange trees. There was also one kiosk that stood out to me. It sold artworks, and this one was of an area that we had visited earlier that day. It's our last night in Granada, and this is the little patatas fritas shop that we could see from the apartment's balcony. And we were so curious because every time we checked, it was closed. The opening hours seemed pretty random. We checked it on Google Maps and it wasn't accurate. So when we finally got it open, we didn't hesitate to try it, and it turned out pretty good.
Okay. Nothing left? Yes.
Hey, gonna go down to, you have to close this door first and then yeah. Oh.
These are the real pashminas.
Yes, in silk, 49.
For like this, like this.
49.
We had time to kill, so I was wandering around and chanced upon this beautiful fountain, which turned out to be Fuente de las Granadas. It is not a major landmark, but it's a nice little reminder of Granada's identity. Granada, after all, was named after the pomegranate, or Granada in Spanish. I was so inspired by this beautiful fountain that I took out my notebook and started to sketch.
Was the door of the rest of ideas from Europe. No? The first site for to come to Spain was Barcelona.
So that is Sierra Nevada, the highest point down. It is so refreshing to visit a place like Granada. You know, those videos that suggest alternate cities to visit because the popular ones are overcrowded. This is it for Spain in my opinion. Gracias, Granada. Me encanta, tu encanta.